Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
New details emerging in the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer, including a possible second high-profile target.
Right now,
going public with his personal story. Michigan Senator Gary Peters with his first national TV interview about an abortion he says saved his wife's life.
But we begin with a warning from Michigan's chief medical executive that the second wave of coronavirus cases may be beginning. The U.S. is reporting the highest number of daily cases since August, and cases here in Michigan also significantly higher.
In the past 24 hours, 1,237 new cases have been confirmed and 30 new deaths have been reported. Priya Mann is live tonight, and Priya, with cases going up, Michigan Chief Medical Executive Dr. Janae Khaldun has a message for Michiganders.
Yeah, and quite simply, Jason, it's keep your guard up. As a number of cases spike across the state, there's going to be increased pressure on hospitals. Of course, that will affect the number of beds available, and all of this as the flu season is set to begin.
In many places across the state, the cases are actually the highest that they've been throughout the entire pandemic.
Michigan's top medical official, Dr. Janae Khaldun, and other health officials are sounding the alarm, saying it's possible we're entering the second wave of the pandemic.
And over the next several weeks, it is possible that we will see deaths increasing as people fight for their lives in the hospital.
Dr. Khaldun says there's been more than 120 new outbreaks since October 8th, concentrated in long-term care, nursing homes, and schools.
Some of the biggest sources of these outbreaks are frankly just people who are not paying attention to social distancing, mask wearing, and they're just letting their guard down.
The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Michigan has topped 137,000. More than 6,900 people have died, while more than 104,000 have recovered. And for the first time since late July, Michigan's risk level for an outbreak was upgraded from medium to high risk.
Hospitalizations are now approaching the troubling levels that we saw earlier this summer. And in the past few weeks, the number of Michigan residents admitted with COVID-19 to our member hospitals throughout the state has risen by more than 80%.
And as temperatures drop and social gatherings head indoors, health officials are urging people to keep their guard up.
But for all Michiganders who truly want to show their thanks for the heroes working in our hospitals, this is your real opportunity. Say thanks by wearing a mask.
And experts say there's other ways you can say thanks as well, by getting your flu shot and avoiding large social gatherings, and of course, wearing a mask when you're outdoors. We've got a lot of information on clickondetroit.com. We'll, of course, continue monitoring these numbers. Reporting live from downtown Detroit, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yeah, a long way to go in this. All right, Priya, thanks.
New details emerging tonight in the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Other targets, including the governor of Virginia and the Canton Police Department, which was revealed today in federal court. Mara McDonald is live in West Bloomfield tonight. Mara, a federal judge did not give bond to any of those who had hearings today.
She sure didn't, Kimberly, and here's how some of their defense attorneys are trying to set this whole thing up. That their clients are essentially a bunch of crackpots that just talk a big game but weren't really going to do anything. What we found out in federal court was that for some of these alleged conspirators, kidnapping Governor Whitmer was not enough. They wanted her dead. Federal prosecutors and FBI agents detailing the alleged plot for federal magistrate Sally Behrens. Behrens said no bond for Caleb Franks from Waterford. He, according to the feds, was advocating for someone to impersonate a pizza delivery driver and shoot Whitmer at her home. Daniel Harris of Lake Orion, not interested in the kidnapping portion, but assassination was what he wanted, according to prosecutors. Ty Garbin of Heartland allegedly told his co-conspirators he was okay with killing the governor at her vacation home. Brandon Caserta of Canton may be the reason the feds finally moved to arrest the group.
You gotta know who the enemy is.
Caserta, seen here ranting on YouTube about the evils of the government, suggested the group try out its attack strategies on Canton police officers. He was upset after he'd been pulled over by Canton police. All were united in their anger over COVID-19 shutdown orders and contemplated attacking the governor of Virginia as well. But talking up plots against Whitmer, and to a lesser degree an attack on the state house, is where the main focus was, according to the feds. Back here live tomorrow, hearings for the rest of these alleged conspirators continue in Grand Rapids in federal court, including for the ringleader, Adam Fox, who we learned today, according to the feds, his idea was to put Governor Whitmer on a boat and leave her in the middle of Lake Michigan. We're live in West Bloomfield tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, thanks. And now to a developing story from Madison Heights, where an SUV collides with a police SUV. It happened on the 12-mile road exit ramp from northbound I-75. Police tell us the driver who hit the officer may have been drunk. The officer, I should say, is okay. The other driver was taken to the hospital.
Today, the West Bloomfield man accused of killing 3 people, including 6-year-old Tyrez Moore, faced a judge for the first time since his arrest. 37-year-old Nicholas Bahri, who has a long criminal history, now faces multiple homicide charges, with each charge coming with a life sentence if convicted. Prosecutors say Bahri shot and killed Tyrez and Isis Rimson in a Warren home on October 1st. The boy's father, Tiyoko Moore, was found burned to death in a car in Detroit. Warren Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer said the motive behind the murders was drugs and money.
The execution of a 6-year-old baby is truly evil, unthinkable, and shows no regard for life. Only monsters or godless creatures would pull the trigger on a 6-year-old baby.
Bahri is due back in court later this month. He will remain in jail without bond.
Tonight, Michigan Senator Gary Peters is speaking publicly about his personal abortion story.
Peters first described his experience in an exclusive interview with Elle magazine. Tonight on MSNBC, he relived the moment from 30 years ago when a pregnancy took a turn for the worse and put his wife Heidi's life in danger. He says the hospital would not perform the life-saving abortion.
These are babies that are wanted. This is something that a family looks forward to, and then a pregnancy goes bad and medical treatment isn't provided because someone is making a decision not based on medicine, not best medical practice, but politics.
Senator Peters says he went public with his story because of the ongoing conversation over the future of Roe v. Wade with the nomination of conservative Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court.
And it was a long day on Capitol Hill, with Barrett spending the day answering questions from members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Susan McGinnis shows us today's key moments and what's still to come.
Promising the Constitution will guide her decisions, Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett repeatedly asked to stake out positions today on issues from abortion to LGBTQ and gun rights. Her answers echoing the words of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
No hints, no previews, no forecasts.
When pressed how she might rule on a case challenging the Affordable Care Act the court will hear days after the election, Barrett insisted she has not been influenced by the president.
I'm not here on a mission to destroy the Affordable Care Act.
People are scared of what will happen if the Affordable Care Act is destroyed in the middle of a pandemic.
Democrats aimed some of their sharpest questions at her public opposition of abortion rights and her signing of a petition condemning the Roe v. Wade ruling that legalized abortion.
The statements that I signed were statements of my personal beliefs and
not your personal belief, Your Honor, your legal position.
Judge Barrett declined to say how she might vote if a challenge comes before her. The most personal moment of the hearing came when Barrett talked about the George Floyd video and how she wept with her adopted daughter, who is black.
To understand that there would be a risk to her brother or the son she might have one day of that kind of brutality has been an ongoing conversation. It's a difficult one for us, like it is for Americans all over the country.
On the broader issue of racism in America, Barrett said it persists, but stopped short of calling it systemic.
In Washington, Susan McGinnis, Local 4.
And Judge Barrett faces one final day of questioning tomorrow, and a vote could come in 2 weeks.
Today, the Supreme Court issued an order to stop the 2020 census from continuing to count through the end of October. The ruling is a big win for the Trump administration, which argued the shortened deadline is necessary to give the Commerce Department enough time to meet the December 31st deadline. The Census Bureau has yet to respond to the ruling.
Still ahead, a Michigan teacher working remotely notices something isn't right in the middle of class.
And she started speaking, I could tell that there was something wrong.
What she did that helped save a life. And here comes Ben.
Jason, Kim, one more day of above average temperatures, and then the autumnal chill starts to set in. We'll see how long it lasts coming up.
But first, a gunman is caught on camera shooting at kids playing basketball. What led to this violent confrontation? Next.